So after being wounded in that live I was in, I decided to take a break and go back to work. And now I decided to take another break and scroll up and down TikTok, and I came across Myron Gaines. He was the host of a show called Fresh and Fit, but it should have been called Mess and Shit. Like, it is frightening. Some of the red pill, anti-woman, He-Man Club hating type shit that was expressed on that platform that our young people are listening to and learning from. No wonder there's a divide. Men who think like Myron Gaines aren't men at all. They're power-hungry wannabes. What I also found interesting about some of Myron Gaines' content, his perception of the black experience as a Sudanese American is quite interesting. But it is the same logic that him and Jeff Mead and Officer Tatum and Jesse Lee Peterson and some of the other ones have about the black experience. They talk as though they're saying some new shit. However, respectability has been around since America has been around. Do they not think that there were Negroes back in the day who had their noses and their tongues and their lips and their fingers all up white man's ass? Absolutely. And did it give the community any progress? Abso-fucking-lutely not. What they don't realize is that the hierarchy is wrapped in race. And at the top of that food chain are white males. But some of these clowns have it misconstrued that if you behave and act and demonstrate the toxic behaviors of white males that they consider to be powerful, they assume that that's going to grant them access into that club. But it won't, because without whiteness, that club doesn't exist.
How can you represent the constituents of Ohio who are 64% Christian if you are not a part of that faith? If you are an Indian, a Hindu, coming from a different culture, different religion, what are you conserving? You are bringing change.
Christian voices should be the main voice of America. Why you seem to be masquerading as a Christian?
You call yourself a Hindu, but you also call yourself Christian. I don't call myself Christian. I call myself a Hindu.
What a lot of these people aren't willing to understand is that you can't Christian your way into that club. You can't hate on black and brown people enough to get into that club. You can't earn wealth-wise your way enough to get into that club. It is an exclusive club for white people. America's a country that was intended to be founded for and by white people. They didn't plan in 1619 for those Africans to come down in that boat into the dock in Virginia. They didn't plan when they got here to encounter Native Americans. They came here thinking this was going to be exclusively white. And they did everything in their power in spite of their reality to try to promote whiteness above everything and everyone else. So when I see these people do what they do and shuck and jive and tap dance and bend over backwards just for white acceptance, I don't think they realize you're playing a losing game. You will never get access. You might get some of them to like your videos. You might get some of them to follow you. But even still with that, they still see you as less than they see themselves. That's America, big baby. It is what it is. That's why I promote black progress, black unity, and proud pro-blackness. Because I want black people to see ourselves as the rulers, as the kings, as the power brokers that our ancestors were. Slavery was just one dynamic of black history. We come from a multitude of different types of people. Hence why when we came here, our labor, our efforts, our creations, our ingenuity built this motherfucker. So there's nothing to be shamed about being black. In fact, they tried their hardest to emulate the magic that you have. So there's no point to kiss their ass to try to get access to what they're not going to allow you access to if you're not white. Black people, remember who you are. Remember from where you came. And remember the power that got you to this moment. Shucking and jiving and tap dancing for white acceptance, approval, and entry into that club, it ain't never work, and it ain't never will.
Come here. The reason they don't like you is fear. Claim supreme but wanna be just like you. It's clear. They want the hips, the lips, the hair, the voice, the walk, the look. They stare. Take one moment. Look at yourself in the mirror. Built different. Cut from a cloth they couldn't wear. Prepare for history to repeat. But look no further. I am the light skin that turn up. Bitch, I'm built different. Yeah. Put a little.